my name is Theophany Matthews, and thank you for watching my final presentation for the Advanced Studio and Art Design course. So for my final project, I decided to work with a 65 by 65 space for a campaign I created called the Butterfly Effect. So the objective was to create a space to spread awareness about human sex trafficking. What actually inspired me to create this space was because my family, and especially my sister and brother-in-law, are very into giving back to the community, and one of the nonprofit organizations that they serve is towards or channeled towards human sex trafficking. And I always wanted to find out more about human sex trafficking, and I thought that not many people know about it, and so I decided, like, hey, why not I create this space or a campaign that would cater to more people being educated about human sex trafficking or anti-human sex trafficking. The second objective is to challenge myself to think big, whereas I have not worked with big spaces before, and therefore I wanted to challenge myself to manipulate this big space and how I can make use of the design or challenge myself in a graphic point of view, and also how I can manipulate the space. The mission is to educate the younger and older generation about human sex trafficking and how we can be advocates through this process. This is also to recruit potential volunteers and therefore being able to spread the awareness, and also recruiting more people, and therefore to stop this syndicate. This is also a potential search for sponsors, because nonprofit organizations need financial support, and therefore this was a good idea to do that. And I was actually thinking of, theoretically speaking, having this during a campus event, and therefore this is a great opportunity to reach out to the public and also students on campuses or in universities. So the vision is to create an emotional and physical platform for people to experience. Hence, what I want the space to be. I want the message and facts to resonate in the hearts of the visitors and to imprint it in their minds. And that is why what I created what is to elevate what I want them to experience. So the whole idea is to unveil the truth on modern day human sex trafficking and putting it in the spotlight. So while others choose to frown it or choose to not see what sex trafficking is all about, because it's not usually a conversation starter and things like that. So this educational exhibition creates an environment to educate the younger and older generation of the serious damage and effects that human sex trafficking is causing in our society and globally. And so in addition to the cause of our compelling message, the structure plays an important role in elevating and executing the message, be it emotional or physical. So when visitors, they sense this mystery and yet tragedy that piggybacks with it while revealing the facts of this misery. So that's why my structure represents this sense of darkness with a touch of light to keep things visible. This also regulates the temperature to be cold, but yet creating a sense of warmness as they exit the architecture. So it creates a sense of hope at the end of it. And in this case, it will demonstrate through the design and message, thus unifying to the theme. And so the theme that I came up with is called the Metamorphosis Cycle, which is the Metamorphosis Cycle, and hence the title of my campaign called the Butterfly Effect. The tagline is the definition of it, which is a small act can make a difference, so stop human sex trafficking. And to create this dynamic or to elevate this, I created my logo, and the color that would be suitable for this is black and yellow. I thought black and yellow was a good contrast of colors, but not only that, it's a call to attention. For example, like caution, so it really draws the attention of the potential visitor or attendee. The main typography that I use is called Davis New. I decided to go with that because it's more simple and minimalistic, and it actually showcases more of the logo, and that is what I intended it to look like. Next is the design style. I decided to go with a more futuristic theme. So I decided to go with a biomorphic and also geometric because I wanted my structure to look bold and also dramatic, because it really would elevate the message of my campaign. Next, this is the overview of what my structure looks like from the top, and I will demonstrate the entryways from here. So the whole process is based on the metamorphosis cycle because it's easier to go through the experience that way. And since my logo is tied into a butterfly kind of effect, so I thought it would be suitable to explain the experience that way. So this is the entryways marked with the cyan circles, and so I decided to use Infinity Constructions, a modular exhibition system that would actually cater to my design, and I thought it really resonated well with the message that I wanted to come across with my campaign, and so that really helped out a lot. And so as the visitors or attendees enter through the entrance, they'll be given a badge with a designated station with letters A and B and a pair of headphones. So as they enter, there will be a disclaimer on the screen to put on their headphones for the best experience, which is kind of optional for the attendee if they want to put on their headphones or not, or if they want to receive the headphones. A storyline or an introduction video will be played for a max of 30 seconds, and at the end of the video there will be instructions to move on to the next phase. The screen will indicate which stations one has to proceed to, and if the attendee does not have any headphones, as mentioned on the screen, they can actually look behind this particular screen that the video has been projected on, because there will be infographics that would help the attendee as they move on to the next phase. So the next phase, which is the stations, which I will now explain, has two stations, which is A and B, with different props and different conclusions, and at the end of the video there will be signs of what a human sex traffic victim would look like or would experience. So once the attendees are educated with the basic knowledge, they move on to the next stage. As you can see, this tower structure, which is kind of like an iPad stand at the same time, where people can, if they're moved or compelled with the message that they seen or the video that they saw, they would want to be an advocate, or they would want to donate to this campaign. This is their opportunity to do so, and that's kind of like the final stage of how they can be the change, hence standing by with the theme or the tagline, "A small change can make a difference." This would also showcase like ways to help, how to be an advocate, organizations they can volunteer to, or even how to donate, as mentioned. Next, if they were to enter through the back way, as mentioned, as you can see the infographics at the back, and if they were to do that, as mentioned, the infographics screens or the backdrop doubles as a storage place, because a 65 by 65 space would require storage to store in items or valuables, and it also holds the infographics as mentioned, as I will show you now. So this is the infographic that, let's say if they were to enter through the other side instead of where they have to use headphones to listen to the video, people have the option of just going through this experience by reading and also being educated at the same time about human sex trafficking and the facts and the statistics about how this syndicate is running, or the definition of human sex trafficking and things like that. So statistics as mentioned, and also being part of the solution, how can they help, and these are just small steps that they can do to make a change or make a small difference. Next, this is the outdoor activity, which would be located on the outside where the magenta circle is showcasing. And so this is a great opportunity for people or guests or attendees who are passing by. They can show their support against human sex trafficking by being an advocate, and they can actually place their handprint here. So the backdrop is actually a glowing putty, and so visitors can compress their hand onto the putty and it will glow, and therefore, as you can see, the yellow glowing handprints. And I thought that would be a great indication of people showing their support by doing so. Next, this is a closer look at the counters and the fabric back wall, which I use Nimlock to help me with elevating or creating this dynamic approach for my structure and also for my campaign. This is a closer look at my graphics because it wasn't clearly seen earlier in my renders, so this is a closer look up at my graphics. I really enjoyed doing this, and since I'm very passionate about this campaign, and I thought this would be a great way of catching people's attention. This is the second graphic, and as you can see, I use the handprints as a repetition from my logo, so it kind of unifies the logo to my graphics. And this is the solution, again with the handprints. This is also another way to reach out to the public, and so let's say if the attendees don't get a chance to enter the space or they're just passing by, the staff are able to pass out brochures, which is a front and back cardstock with the logo, the butterfly effect on it, with the tagline "Let's End Human Sex Trafficking," and then at the back is a repetition of the graphics that you can be seen in the inside of the dome, but it's just more of a good start to what human sex trafficking is all about, and so I thought this would be a good way of advertising or marketing my campaign in a way. So that's the end of my presentation. I hope you like it. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to comment or contact me personally. Thank you once again, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye.